So, I suffer from a disease called aquagenic pruritus or pruritus or something like that. If you don't know what that is, it's simply an allergy to water, like H2O. So I've had this since I was about 7 years old, and it's not a complete discarding of water that I engage in. Like, it's not everywhere in my body. Some people have explained this to ask me, how do you drink water? How do you eat food with soup or anything like that? It's a dermatological problem. That means it affects my skin. Like, my skin reacts somehow to water, different from how another human being would. I got it when I was the age of 7, and I thought it was either the salty water, so I tried warming it and like making it desalinating the water so that it's not salty. I thought it was the soap. I changed the soap. I thought it was towels. I switched to woolen towels and all that. I thought it was my skin being dry, so I would apply oil after, but it never went away. And I think it's a hereditary problem because my father has the same problem, and my uncles have the same problem, and apparently my grandfather, who passed away a while back, also had the same problem. So it's a real thing. And I grew up with it, and I never knew what it was. I'd never encountered anyone with a similar condition since I was born. But um, recently, once I got access to the internet, I looked it up. I didn't know its name. That's why I came to learn its name from the internet. And there are people who are suffering from it. So it's an extreme reaction of the skin to water. It feels like whenever water touches my skin, it feels like acid is being poured on my skin. So it causes me to feel itchy, and I end up scratching my entire body. There are no pimples that come out or whatever they call lesions or something like that. There's nothing on the skin to show that my skin is irritated or anything like that. All you can see after contact with water and after I've cleaned the water off, you'll see scratch marks on my skin from my nails as I try to ease in the itch. And it travels very fast. It feels like electricity. Immediately I scratch here, it moves to another part of my skin. Immediately I scratch that my other part of my skin, it moves to my head. There are some parts that are not affected, like the soles of my feet, the palms of my hand, mostly these areas covered with hair are also not affected, and my face not so much. But the rest of my body is a serious lab for this thing. And I went to a lot of doctors since I was young. I thought it's because I was not exposed to very good doctors, and that's why I was not getting the treatment I wanted. But I went to several doctors, and they seriously told me, the dermatologists especially, they told me whatever you're describing does not exist. Like, I was saying, I went to school for dermatology, but I've never heard of anything like allergy to water. How do you live? You can't live without water. You need water for everything. And it's not just water, it's anything that contains water. If it spills on my skin, I feel it. Whether it's tea, soup, and worse, something that started afterwards, not while I was 7 years, like later on, I don't remember when, is sweat. My own sweat. Imagine being allergic to your own sweat. It's quite serious because when I walk for a long time or run or do some exercise or anything, I will inevitably sweat. I have no control over the sweat. If it's too hot, I will sweat. So this condition will start when I sweat. Whenever it touches my skin, I start feeling itchy again. And then it usually happens that it ends after I've cleaned myself from the water. It goes on for about 20 minutes with my dry skin and then stops. But as long as there's water on my body, it continues itching. So the problem with sweat is that sweat does not stop immediately. If there is sweat on my body and I clean it up and it continues getting hot, I will sweat again, which means my skin will start to itch again, like it has started before. It could last for hours. And this is something serious. It might look like okay for someone who is watching, but it feels like the worst thing in this world. I know some people are going through worse things, but so far I feel like it's the worst thing in my life. The itchiness. When I feel that itchy, it scares me. It makes me afraid to see water. Like when I look at water, I don't have this relationship of a refreshing kind of experience because I think that's how most people see it. Like uh, taking a shower is a refreshing exercise. You feel clean, you feel good, you feel something. You feel like you want to leave, you want to walk out. You apply deodorant and uh, some 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 cream or something like that, and you feel good. You want to live your best life. But that's not the same for me. It's a traumatizing experience. Like getting into the shower, I look at the water and I'm like, oh no, another day has come when I have to go through this. And I look at it and I'm like, why? Why do I have to be the person who does this? I feel like if I felt refreshed, I would probably take a shower 3 times a day. Because it's refreshing. After the itch has gone, it's very refreshing. But I'm like, what if I just felt refreshed like everybody else and just got out of the shower and enjoyed it? What if I could just wipe off my sweat with a towel and continue exercising? Because if I was exercising, I would have to stop and start scratching myself. Maybe I'm in the middle of a street walking and the cars are passing by. I have to make sure I get away from the cars and stay away, like on the very far edge where I can scratch myself. And I'm wondering if someone walks and looks at me, what will they think I'm doing? They might think I have a serious ailment and I've not gone to seek medical advice, and it's just an allergy. I don't know what to do about it. I've tried so many medications. I remember my dad getting me some antidepressants called fluoxetine. Apparently, the side effects of it is that it ends that allergy for you, but they didn't work. They ended up doing worse than they were supposed to help. Things got even more serious. It generally made me not a very clean person, and I would like to be one, but it's hard. It's not an easy exercise to go through that every day. The mental energy I need to get into the shower and just put water on my body, knowing exactly what I'm going to experience for the next 20 to 30 minutes is extremely disturbing. It's something that my mind cannot like process very well. I'm asking, why would I put myself through such trouble just for me to undergo something so annoying and so serious? I really don't know what to. It's been, you would say I got used to it since it's been almost 20 something years, but I've never gotten used to it. There's another faction of people who, when I share this, think it's a joke. They think it's fun to make, like it's a fun thing to make fun of. Sometimes I get annoyed, and I don't tell people a lot about this because their reactions are like, some people will be like, "You're very lucky. You're very lucky. You have a rare allergy, something you can speak about that no one else can speak about." And then I look at them and wonder, you think it's fun to be me? You think it's fun to have a rare allergy? I know rare things that people look forward to. A rare painting is something everyone wants to get hold of. A rare girl, I would say, is something every man wants to get hold of. A rare invention is something everyone wants to get hold of. But a rare disease is not one of those things. Once you hear someone has a rare disease, that's trauma that will never end. Because one thing, when you have a rare disease, there is one thing that is guaranteed. There is not enough research that has been done about your disease out there. And that's a big problem. Because the pharmaceutical industry, those who make medicine, they are not here to cure your diseases. As much as it may seem like they are here to ensure you live for a long time and enjoy your life, they are not there. They are here to make money. They are businesses, and they look at the profitability of what they're about to make. If your disease is only affecting like 3,000 people in this world, and the cost of producing the medication is billions of dollars, and they need to research throughout so many countries because the people who suffer from this disease are so sparsely distributed in this world that they would spend thousands or millions trying to bring them into one place to do investigations and research on them. They will not do that. They will leave that disease alone. And to make it matters worse or better, the disease doesn't kill anyone really. It just makes your life very uncomfortable. So there is not so much research that has been done there about it, and the disease is not well known to the dermatologist or the common doctor. So they will say this disease that doesn't exist. It's not taught in medical school. They have to have done the extra research on their own on the outside to know that it exists. So it's not fun to have a rare disease. And yeah, kidogo tunakuja. Yeah. So it's not fun at all. It's not fun at all, and it disturbs me every day. It's something that it's a topic of conversation. It's something that would make me look interesting. At least that's how people see it. It's something that makes me very interesting, and it's something that sets me apart from everyone else. It's something that I should be proud to have. But I'm not, because how will people look at me when I haven't taken a shower and I don't feel like taking one? How am I going to explain this? I had a classmate who back in high school who explained this to, and he started making fun of how I looked like I had not taken a shower that day. And it felt painful. It felt painful because I know I wanted to take a shower, but I didn't have the mental energy to take a shower on that day. Because it's something I need to mentally prepare myself for. I'm like, I'm going to have about 20 to 30 minutes of extreme pain that I cannot avoid, just to make sure that everyone around me is comfortable with how I look and how I smell and how everything I am is okay to interact with. I had to had to put myself in that mindset, and it's not an easy thing to put myself in that headspace. It's something that requires a lot of effort. So I'm sharing this. If you have a similar, but I've seen people with worse conditions than this, and also people with a more severe version of this. I thought I was alone. At least I'd never met someone with this until I looked online. Apparently, it's something that affects a few people here and there. And some people mentioned that it could last up to 2 hours. I can't imagine it lasting for 2 hours. 30 minutes of it already feels like hell. Like I can't explain, just it feels like needles pricking. Like have you ever can you imagine someone with like 100 needles like put together in like a flat surface, and then they're just piercing your skin with the needles all the time for the next 30 minutes of your life, everywhere. And you keep scratching and it moves to the next place. You scratch, it moves to the next place. You scratch, it moves to the next place. And it doesn't seem like it's stopping, it just keeps moving throughout your skin. And it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it. At least if there are some marks to show that you are suffering or anything, you could show them to the doctor, but there is nothing to show to the doctor. And the doctor says you're okay. And when he understands that you have the problem, he's like, you just have to live with it. There's nothing you can do. And I would say people like my dad and my grandfather had survived with it for 50 or 60 years. So I can't complain. It's not something I can complain about. And I need water. I need water for everything. I need to wash my face. I need to. I feel so lucky that it doesn't affect drinking water because then it will, because I can't stay without drinking water or eating food with soup. I have to do that 3 times a day. Now imagine if I had to go through that 3 times a day. I would definitely be very traumatized as a person. I still am. I still am. And yeah, well, some people find it interesting. I don't. I wish I didn't have this special thing because apparently it's special. And people who have told this story treat me as a special person. That guy with that rare disease. No, you don't want to be having a rare disease. Any kind of rare disease, no. No, you don't want to be having it because no one, no doctor seem, no research, no medical research institute seems to care about it. That's when you realize that people are not in it. Uh, these people who make medicine are not in it for the good of the human. It's about how much money they can make. I remember Bill Gates being condemned so much online because he wanted to what do you call it, like copyright or something like that. I'm forgetting the name, to copyright the medication for COVID-19. And while everyone was trying to get him to release the formula for free so that it could be made by anyone and the medication could be available to everyone. But that's not how the industry of medication works. They need to make some money out of it. Although it's not worth their while to make medication for you, it doesn't matter whether you're dying or not. It's not up to them to save your life. Their only and their main goal, whether that may not be the only goal, but their main goal is to make money. So my allergy has not been researched, and I find comments online about the things I can use to lessen the allergy, but they're just opinions from people who are going through the same disease. The things they have tried, what has worked and what has not. It is not a valid medical opinion that I can vouch for. So I have to try all these things. Some of them work on some people, some don't. I hear when I read a thread like on Reddit where they're talking about it, I see some people saying, "Oh, this worked for me." Someone else says, "I tried that, it didn't work." Some other people say it worked for them, and two people says it worked for them, and another three say it didn't work for them. Just like my dad tried fluoxetine on me and it didn't work. Tried all these other tips and tricks, but nothing was working. So I kind of had to live with it, and I'm living with it right now. I wouldn't say it's worse than my schizophrenia because my schizophrenia really makes me see and hear things that are not there. That makes me feel and sound like a lunatic. While this other is a bit more hidden. I don't tell it to a lot of people because they people may be judgmental in a way or laugh about it, and I'm very sensitive about it. When someone laughs about it, I take it seriously, more seriously than I should. Yeah.